got to be like a zone or so difference in far as like the freezing temperature and when the freezing actually starts. Say my freeze point might be November 18th. Probably where you're at is probably going to be more like October 30th. You know, the 31st. Halloween is the cutoff limit for everything. So I might get a couple extra weeks out of it. Right? And I understand timing is critical. Time is everything when it comes to growing. Especially get the full potential out of Neville's haze. Yeah, it would almost be a disappointment and a crime. Then I get that to its full potency, full phenotypical expression. Yeah, that's way too late, I would think. And I guess that makes a lot of sense. You gotta, because it is so cold in certain places so early, there's not as many people out, which gives you the availability to grow indoors and kind of, you know, kill the time, but also make a profit and supply people while it's going on. That's how you get it. That makes sense. I learned something. So here we go. Yeah, let's get into this real quick. Every stage of weed smoking explained. Don't make me look bad on TV. Make me look bad on TV. There we go.
Do you smoke? A question that has been asked frequently ever since the early 1900s. But unlike the early 1900s, where that question was mostly targeted towards cigarettes, these days...
Hold on. That seems a little low. I might be wrong about that, but I'm just taking a wild guess. Yeah, that seems better.
Location, of course, it probably means, do you enjoy sparking up a doozy at 8 p.m. to either watch Family Guy or ponder the meaning of life? No in between. Which, although smoking anything is harmful for us, I do believe we are moving in the right direction, aka the direction of less addictive cancerous chemicals. But don't get me wrong, Zaza is not good, nor never will be good for your physical health. Although one can make the argument for mental health, only problem...
I think also there's an argument for that. I'm starting to lean towards flower is good for, I guess, the mental side of everything, somewhat the physical side, but really the concentrate is really where you get the medicinal benefits. The hashish and things like that is where the real medicinal benefits, the bubble hash, come out from the flower, the concentrated amounts of it.
Being 90% of that stems from I feel like it helps, or I'm happier when I'm high, which in no way confronts the root of the problem, but rather serves as a temporary solution. But who am I to tell you if you're smoking too much weed, bruh? You have to figure that out yourself, because every situation is different. What I can and will do in this video, though, is outline every level of cannabis consumption, how they may affect your health and life, and give you a better understanding of when and how a semi-unhealthy controlled hobby can turn into a straight-up addiction, to hopefully educate the public about the most important thing when it comes to anything in life: moderation.
Smoking.
So let's start off with level
moderation.
One,
my bad.
Casual. The casual is someone who smokes up only on occasions and almost exclusively with friends or family.
Yeah.
At this level, you might be sparking up once or twice a month when a homie invites you over to hang out. And the reality is, you don't even...
I do know people that are like that, but damn.
Really care about the weed part so much as the hangout part. You understand that smoking isn't good for you, but you also know the person you chill with likes to do so. And who are you to tell your friend how he or she should live his life? This is truly a wonderful level to be at, as being high is always eventful and joyful. Unless, you know.
Like first smoking, yeah, it's always something to write home about. He's right about that. This is a good stage to be in. It's just, Tuesday for me.
Green out. Anyway, I think this is obvious, but at this stage, you don't have your own bud, bong, or really anything related to the za, as your homie always just hooks you up. Which, unfortunately, most of us don't have a friend like that, or used to, but have since leveled up to the point that they're the ones hooking the homies up. But we all know free za always hits better. It's just one of those things.
Now, free is in getting it from somebody when you're still buying it, or free is in growing it and you harvest it yourself. Because I do believe those are both great feelings. There's a separation between the two.
If only there was a company so confident that you'd love their product that they'd be willing to give out like a free eighth, knowing you'd enjoy it so much you'd most likely just come back in the future.
I need another eighth.
Base Smokes is doing just that with their very limited time
Base
free
Smoke.
eighth promotion. You heard correctly. Right now, by going to the link in the pinned comment, you can get a free eighth delivered right to your doorstep, legal in all 50 states. All you have to do is, as I said, go to the pinned comment, pay for shipping, be at least 21, and get your delivered 100% off. And
he's correct about that. The Base Smokes is the THCA stuff that I have. What I have? Hold on. Let me do this. I got it. It's in arm's reach. I had to get up for it, but it's in arm's reach. Oh, man. You see that shit? Base Smokes. That's what he's talking about. That's pretty much, I think. No, they reached out to me to do some videos. That's how I got hooked up with them. But it's THCA, which is like the 0.3% stuff. So it's more body effect than really cerebral effect, but you do feel different. I definitely will say that. And it's flavorful like it's weed. It just won't get you unleashed high like regular
once you try
weed.
it out, you'll possibly want to get some of their other amazing products. And for that, you can even use my code CBDBro for minus 15% on all your future orders. But for now, I encourage you to use this one-of-a-kind limited time offer by going to the pinned comment and just clicking on the link. Yet for now, it's time for us to return to the video. That is until the next level, which is level 2, the weekend smoker. The weekend smoker is someone who has evolved from only getting high for the sake of being on the same wavelength as the homie to
that was still when I was younger that I knew people that were like that one. Number 2, that only smoke on the weekends. That would be I guess my friend Jesse, acquaintance Jesse. Hold on. Oh yeah, okay, right there. Just making sure. I just wanted to catch up on the
someone who has
comment.
grown to enjoy the effects of marijuana even alone. But don't get me wrong, you are still aware that smoking is not healthy, but you also know eating Ruffles is not healthy. Doom scrolling is not healthy, yet you still do them from time to time. Getting high has become something you look forward to, but since you're not smoking up every night, it's usually always accompanied with some activity you have in mind. AKA, I can't wait for Friday so I can smoke up.
I can't wait for Friday.
I'm
damn
excited
it.
for Saturday so I can smoke up and watch Dragon Ball Super. Something like that. At this level, you're
Dragon Ball
also definitely not
Super.
smoking up frequently enough to start worrying about the financial implications buying weed comes with. At most, you're getting an eighth once a week and rolling a couple J's, or maybe if your friend was generous, he'll give you his old bong. Protected with your life.
Damn.
Personally, this is the level I have tried to stay at, but well, it's kind of hard because at this point you have your own weed, and if you're doing something fun at night, it kind of tempts you to do it, well, high. And once you give into that temptation, you'll move up to level 3, the daily reward. You've come to really enjoy your weekend highs, so much so that you've decided, screw it, it's Tuesday, there'll be no hangover like with alcohol. Yeah, I'm a smoke up. I would consider this level the last one where you can still say you are not addicted. Just really enjoy hanging around while high. The only problem being, weed has become an integral part of your routine, which has removed some of the wonder that accompanied it in the previous levels. As before, being faded got you moving extremely irregular, but since irregular depends on your perspective of regular, and you're pretty regularly high, your actions while under the influence, although still fun, don't make you feel that, oh shit. Where I'm going with this is that before the idea of doing your daytime activities while high seems scary, now they kind of seem like they might be a bit more fun instead. Also, you now know about strains, hybrid, indica, sativa. All these terms mean something to you. You might even have multiple strains at the crib, and depending on your nighttime mood and plan, you'll indulge in the one.
This is interesting. This seems like something I'd probably try and show my wife or something like that. Someone who's not as into weed as me, but to kind of explain things, and it's something we could bond with.
That suits you best.
This ain't bad.
Whether you're looking to unwind after a long day or energize for a night out, there's a perfect strain to match every occasion. But don't get me wrong, you're still using the ZA as a sort of reward for a hard day's work to relax and chill, so you still have self-control.
Here we go.
Which, well, kind of starts fading on
level
4. Gee, why not? Why not, you think? I ain't really got nothing much to do anyway. I'll just do a quick rip and make it more enjoyable. Getting high during the day can be a slippery slope, because once you do, you'll realize that, wow, this is kind of fun. And so you might start dedicating your sativa stash to your daytime adventures, but there is a catch. I rather
Yeah, so I really try and limit my day smoking big time. I'm probably, especially I guess now in this stage of the game, I might smoke an entire J in the course of 8 hours. Going to work, first break, lunch, second break, drive home. That'll, yeah, kind of be finished throwing it out halfway home, driving, and yeah, that'll be it. Like one J, I used to be at probably like 5, 6, 7 J's by the time 2, 3 hours go by. And back in my day in my 20s.
the price you must pay when you reach this level. Because you are now high during the day, smoking up at night loses that reward factor it used to have. You're slowly getting to the point where the feeling of normality is being faded, and due to that, getting high at the end of your day is just standard procedure, not your special fun time, if you get what I'm saying. Another huge difference that comes at this level is of course your tolerance, which has gone way up along with your money spent on weed. And to counteract those, you have had to start buying in bulk, so instead of eighths, you now have ounces. But holding so much bud is a double-edged sword, as having over an ounce available at any given time also messes with your sense of how much you're actually smoking. Whereas one full bowl of bud taken from a grinded eighth visibly decreases the amount you have left, a full bowl taken from a grinded ounce seems like nothing, which all of these things compound, kind of like the stock market.
No, I get what he's saying. Yeah, because I noticed something like that. The first time, no, it's about the second season when I had more than just the one, like original haze. OG Kush. It was like about, I think I had about 3 or 4 jars, 3 1/4 jars or so of OG Kush. And the next season I had maybe, I'm gonna say about 8, 9 jars worth of smoke. And I was running through the jars and I was like, wow, this is about 3 ounces. Like I had weighed everything. That was an important part. I wanted to find out how much I was growing, like how much I grow this year. Did I grow a pound yet? Like, so once I got to about the 5th jar, I was like, wow, this is like 3 ounces, like 2.5 ounces, and I'm just going through in like a month. I would be smoking like a 1/2 ounce a week. So this is like way above the pace that I've normally grown accustomed to from being really like probably about 25 to about 40. So now I've been able to make it work. A lot less consumption and a lot more efficiency with everything else.
Taking bigger and bigger hits each day, which most people would start to realize that at this point, it's kind of hard to label your Zaza destruction as a controlled hobby when you're not just high during your night goblin time, but also your daytime, and start lowering your consumption. But if you are not most people and still believe that you are in control, you'll move on to level 5.
Oh shoot.
Zaza Fiend. A cigarette smoker can smoke a pack a day, which is not so good for your lungs. A Zaza Fiend can smoke 5 to 10 J's a day, which is also not so good for your lungs. Whereas before,
I can still kind of do that. I just don't do it in the day part. Do it at night. So let's see. Like let me think realistically. Okay, so I smoke a J all day pretty much. Come home, smoke a J with my wife. Probably every hour and a half, smoke another J or so, 2 hours. I'm gonna smoke like 5, 6 J's a day. Which, yeah, like I said, is nothing wild. To put it like that, I'm almost embarrassed to say that. I remember the time we would laugh at people saying that, and I was like 15, 16 years old. 5 J's a day. Motherfucker, we did that at the basketball court. So...
But you could point to that cigarette smoker and say, you smoke the same amount in a day that I do in a month. We are not the same. Now you point at him and he points right back, which kinda sucks, not gonna lie. Being high has completely lost its wonder. It's more a monthly subscription to live your life normally and be in an alright mood.
That's
now.
true.
You'll start to notice you got a bit of a cough. You got some stuck at the back of your throat pretty
No.
often, and you also can't remember what you did 2 days ago and beyond. I don't know, I was high as balls, you say jokingly.
Yeah, no, and I guess that's also the beauty of going through this haze phase where, you know, what they say, the top THC percent is like 20%. So who knows what the percentage is that I have, but that lowering of everything, because I know when my homie came with some Gary Payton like about 2 years ago, that was, what was it, like 28%, 29%, something like that. Oh my God, like I pretty much needed his help to get from the garage to the back of the house, and like I crawled the rest of the way to the bedroom and like laid down, and I was probably out within 5 minutes. It tore me up. And that was from not smoking for like a month. I just had like a keef and shrapnel, and I was shredding up keef and trim to make hash, and I was just rolling the NJs and stretching it out. And then, yeah, it probably took a month for me to get some actual flour. And woo, oh my goodness. So I can see how you can lose days if I was just forced to only smoke the Gary Payton repeatedly like that.
Holding back your tears, because the reality is you weren't
I
high
was-
as balls.
I was taking what I had bought, the Gary Payton I bought from him, and mixing it with the like still the old trim that I had to cut it. 'Cause I was like, oh yeah, I can't go through what I went through last night again. Yeah, I'm half the man I used to be. Around 2 pounds, something like that. I would have. I understand what you're saying. 2 ounces a month. So I'll kind of, what do I want to say? Piggyback off of what you're trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Like to add into what you're saying. That's what I'm trying to say, not to top it. But I was like, I'm not trying to top what he's saying. But so in about a month and a half, about 3 ounces, which isn't, you know what? That's a 37% increase. And about 2 pounds a year. I'm gonna say about 4 pounds a year, but I'm also definitely smoking with somebody else too. So I'm smoking more frequently, but it's more people doing it. So I kind of would it's around the same thing. It's definitely around the same thing. I totally get you. I would agree. And let me not even like try and put her out there. Like, she does smoke a lot of J's with me, but she smokes way more. She got a vape pen. I'll catch her in the room blowing smoke out. When I'm like, oh, you want to come outside and smoke a J? I guess she doesn't. And then like, oh, I made you these brownies, and then I'll come in the next day. Yeah, it's like 4 missing today. Fall or something done. I ate them this morning. So yeah, I shouldn't feel as bad. I guess she got her thing and I got mine. That's funny, but it's still, yeah, relatively about the same thing. And I guess because it's not so much of a need, 3 pounds, I guess is a lot, but in the course of a year, I think I was probably worse when I was paying for it during Prohibition time, to be quite honest. But like I said, more people, so I would need it more.
You smoked a lot of weed, yes, but you weren't all that high, just normal high. Although you can't really get physically addicted to weed, you absolutely can
Get
mentally.
habit.
I can quit at any time, you might think, and you could maybe, but oh boy, it will not be easy. Wanna play a game? Gotta get high. Wanna watch a movie? Gotta get high. Need to go to the store? Might as well get high. Everything is done high. Your lungs have not gotten a break to cleanse themselves, and your brain has not gotten a break either. In fact, it has got.
I just realized my friend would do that. Oh man, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. Oh, my friend would do that. Not that we wouldn't all be in his room rolling a J. Like, okay, we about to go to the basketball court, and like we take that, you know, in 10 minutes. So we'd all take that time to roll a J. But he like smoke his. I thought we was gonna be smoking at the basketball court, so we could just, you know, smoke a J on the way and then smoke when we finish playing. And we smoke, and that would kind of slow us down, like maybe anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. So, okay, so he was a step ahead of me, or maybe even 2 steps, depending on how you classify that not smoking while you're at work thing. And it was like, yeah, if you smoke a lot at work, then you are kind of in this category. So I don't know where I'm at.
And so used to being high, it feels pretty shitty without it. We could talk about your tolerance, but well, you probably know where that's at, on that maxed out in-game plus level. Personally, I've only ever gotten this far once, back when I was in high school and it was summer break, because I learned pretty quick that, well, it's by far the worst level to be at. You're smoking an insane amount, sometimes even back-to-back bong rips, but the feeling you get from it is not even that fun. On top of that, you're spending an unholy amount of money on bud. I mean, it's gotten so bad, your monthly Zaza costs might literally exceed your grocery budget. Got you setting aside half your paycheck just so you can feel okay. Might be time for a tea break, don't you think?
That's why we grow our own, so we don't have to go through these type of problems. Dang, because when I was stuck on a dispensary before it was legal to grow here, and I had to be a medical patient first, like every 2 weeks. Luckily, we found a place. Well, okay, so I'd say it was probably about $150 a week to get the stuff we needed. Luckily, we found a place to kind of cut that down to about $80, $90 a week, because we were willing to deal and whatnot. Like, small buzz, they give you a like $10 discount. Buying like keef, or not necessarily keef, but the like trim part, the leftover stuff, or the stuff that wasn't trimmed that was flour, they give you like a $5-10 discount on that. So if you're willing to kind of compromise on the quality of the final product, the way it looks, aesthetically, you can save yourself some money. And we were having to do that, but that was like $90 a week, $80-90 a week. So still, like $100, that's $52,000 a year. $5,200 a year, excuse me. I'm sorry, $5,200 a year. That's quite a bit. That's almost up there with my like cigarette spending. That's like what, 3,000 with the price of it like being $15 now, but woo.
All these levels are supposed to just give you a reference to where you're at, and the reality is you'll probably be bouncing around them, not stick to one forever. I usually try to keep my consumption on level 2 or 3, but that doesn't mean I don't dabble with the 4th level from time to time when, like, I don't know, a new Monster Hunter game comes out and I want to fully immerse myself in its world by getting an ounce of Zaza, locking myself in my gaming dungeon.
Gaming, yeah, that's the perfect time to smoke and get
going into goblin mode for a week. Just whatever you do, don't ever get to the last level. There's literally nothing positive about that place. Key takeaway, moderation is your best friend. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what level you're at right now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was just discussing what level I was at now. Let me change the body count before we get out of here so y'all don't think I'm no punk.